too. So you know what I mean.
Wake up, goddammit. Hey, welcome to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Tires Lounge and Note Show. Hey, where we educate through entertainment. And today, our guest is Lazy Dubb, straight out of Phoenix, Arizona. You know what I mean? He's got his story, he's got his music, and he's on the road. You know what I mean? From what he just told me, on the road. And being on the road is good because that means the money's coming in if
Yeah,
we on the
yeah.
road, especially during a time like this with a pandemic and the coronavirus and all that COVID-19 is stopping the flow of some paper, you know what I mean? Still able to move around. So we're going to learn about Lazy Dubb. Lazy Dubb, welcome to the Tires Lunch No Show.
Man, I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Hell
So,
yeah.
yeah, man. So, I read about you, checked you out, and you from Phoenix. And so tell us a little bit about yourself in the music scene out there in Phoenix.
Right. Well, I'm out here from the Maryville area, and I mean in Phoenix. You know, that's West Phoenix. You know what I mean? Man, we just, you know what I mean, we've been a long time coming. There's a lot of talent out here, you know what I mean, like undiscovered, you know what I mean. But I've been going hard for a while, and you know, I'm tapped in with a lot of different areas. So it's like I can, you know, I've been making moves, you know what I mean. So, you know what I mean, I've been trying to get it more out there. Like it's hard because we haven't really had like a major scene or people really like fuck with our vibe because there's so much of a different vibe, you know what I mean? There's so much different like styles, you know what I mean? Because a lot of
Mm,
people actually ain't originally from Phoenix, you know what I mean? Like there's not a lot of originality. Like me, I'm born and raised. You know what I mean? And you'll find some others that are born and raised, but then a lot of people they come from New York, you know what I mean, East Coast, or a lot from Cali too. So we got a lot of Cali influence.
People, from what I understand about Phoenix, man, Phoenix is a beautiful city. I've never been there, but that's all I've ever heard, that Phoenix is a beautiful city. I've never heard like not one bad comment about Phoenix, you know what I mean, or just Arizona, period. So, um, tell us like why hasn't the industry, you know what I mean, given Phoenix a chance? Because if you got talent out there, you've been out there moving around, networking, doing your thing, you would think that okay, let's put our eyes on Phoenix, you know what I mean, because let's see what's going on out there. And it's Phoenix is loved and respected just as a city, you know what I mean, and it's close to everything. It's close to LA. It's close to. So tell us about why you feel like it's the industry has not turned their eye on to Phoenix yet or Arizona.
Honestly, honestly, I can't even tell you, man. Like for real, I don't know. Like sometimes I charge it to like the energy of where I'm at. You know what I mean? It's like you know, you go to different places, you feel the different energy of those places. And it's like a lot of people they come to Phoenix or Arizona, Scottsdale, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of
Mm,
either snowbirds or retirees. So I'm almost like, man, maybe our energy for our area is like that of like the retired, relaxing, you know what I mean? So it's not like real like high vibrational, you know what I mean? You know what I mean, energetic, you know what I mean? So maybe that's the whole reason because you go more towards the ocean, say the East Coast or the West Coast, they're more like high energy, and then you have things happening. Even down there, you go to Atlanta, there's more things happening, you know what I mean,
right.
on the South Coast. So I don't know, it could be something like that, or it hasn't been our time, you know what I mean, to shine the light, you know what I mean? Like our sports teams, like we've made it, but we
Right.
haven't won. You know, what I mean, Diamondbacks won that the champion, the World Series. You know what I mean, but that's like our only claim to fame right now. But we've
Mm,
made it. We've been to the Super Bowl. We've been to the finals, but we haven't really brought home that championship to really
right.
shine that light.
Right. Phoenix Suns, they open, they doing their thing.
Oh man, they're killing it. They're
Yeah, yeah, they
killing it.
killing. Yeah, we're gonna see what happens, man. See, um, the outcome is different this year. Because you
Hopefully,
got you got the you got the Warriors. They trying to bounce back.
yeah.
But you ain't got to worry about the Lakers. I don't think anybody. I don't know.
Nah, we ain't worried about them this year at all.
All right, man. So ladies and gentlemen, let's just go back. Let's go back into time when you initially first started getting into the business. When you wanted to, pursue the art of hip hop. What got you into that? What was it? Who were some of your inspirations, and what motivated you to want to become an artist?
I don't know. It just like I gravitated towards it. You know what I mean? Just being a fan of, you know, rap music, you know, specifically like West Coast rap music. And it just kind of like it just I gravitated towards it. So it's like I could do this, you know what I mean? And out of like hobby, you know what I mean? Like I would try to do it. So, you know, I mean, the major first influences definitely, you know, Too Short, Easy E, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, NWA, you know what I mean? Then a lot of Bay Area, you know what I mean, Brother Lynch, X Rated, you know what I mean, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It was just Master P, his early stuff when he was in the Bay. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it just, you know what I mean? It just came to me. You know what I mean? So it's like I could do this too. You know what I mean? I kind of looked at it as like, hey, this is I could share my stories, and I could actually probably make it out the hood like I seen some of these people, or I interpreted that they did. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
with this. Yeah.
You know, it's funny you said Too Short, man. That's actually my favorite rapper of all time.
Oh yeah,
That's my
yeah.
favorite rapper of all time.
He's one of that was like one of the first albums right there. Life is, you know what I mean? The
Yeah,
Easy does it, and the Life is Too Short, one of the first albums that I really went heavy with.
yeah, Easy E. Brother. It's funny you mentioned Brother Lechon because when I was a younger moving around, that's who I mean, that's who I used to bump a lot. You know what I mean? And uh, one more pound of smoke got that one. You know what I mean? And I just happened to listen to that the other day. I haven't listened to Brother Sean probably since my 20s. You know what I
Right,
mean? But
right, right.
but for some reason I just started listening to it again the other day. So really out there west, and you know what's crazy? I'm born in the South.
Okay.
So I was in the South listening to Too Short, NWA. I wouldn't even listen to really the South music. It's the West Coast, Spice One, Second to None, DJ Quick, all those guys. You know what I mean?
All of
So
that.
yeah, so uh, Ant Banks and all them guys. So it's 40 of course in the click. You know what I mean? That's where that's what my hip hop ear was at. It wasn't until
Right,
later on till I started switching and listening to more East Coast and got into the South. I was all West Coast at that.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? I actually hear that West Coast delivery, that West Coast bounce in your music. So
Yeah.
is that what you were aiming for?
Pretty much because that's
Mm,
what, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I aimed for anything. It's
yeah,
just like this is what came. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
even when it comes to writing, I can't just say, oh, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write a song right now. Like I see some people and they get in there, like, man, they just freestyle and stuff like that. I can't do that. It has to just come to me. You know what I mean? And I can't force it. You know what I mean? So if it's like the beat has to speak to me, and then just
right.
whatever comes out, that's what comes out, and that's how the delivery is meant to be. Then that's what it is. You know what I mean? And you
So
know,
when you're putting your records together, and I'm gonna speak to you from an artist standpoint because I used to record a
definitely.
long time ago. So, and you mentioned it just then. I was going to ask you, but you kind of answered it already. That the beat got to talk to you, and that's the kind of artist I was. The beat had to tell me what to say in the hook. It had
Right.
to tell me how to come into the verse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, but are you an artist that you don't even come up with the concept yet or the title or anything until you hear the beat, or do you already have the song in mind? Do you already have the song written out? Then you're waiting for the perfect beat to put on top of it.
I've had different situations. You know, what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I've had situations to where just like lyrics start coming to me, and then I write without a beat, and then I've had time. You know, what I mean, but the majority of the time, and then I have to find that perfect beat for it. But then I've
Right.
had other times to where it's like, okay, I gotta hear the beat, and then a lot of times I like to have a hook, and I don't. Sometimes I don't. I either work with somebody on a hook and have them do the hook for me, or you know what I mean. You know what I mean, like, or you know what I mean. I have them do it, and then I go off of what they go with. So it's
Mm.
like I like everything to match and make sense. You know what I mean. I don't like
Right.
all this mismatch stuff.
So, like, who you listening to right now? Who you listening to right now?
Oh man, of course I bump a lot of Nip. You know what I mean. Bump a lot
Okay.
of Nip. You know what I
Yeah.
mean. A lot of Mozzie.
Mm.
West Coast. Man, Snoop just dropped one. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and it's
definitely.
hot.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
hot, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So how does that? What does that do for you as an artist when you see artists like Snoop, E40, and Too Short, even an Ice Cube is
Mount Westmore.
yeah, Mount Westmore. So what does that do for you as an artist, knowing that, hey man, this is something used to be looked down upon that artists was that old still rapping, but now it's like something that is cool now, and you like I could do this until I get tired of. I can do this till end of my days. Like, what does that do when you see artists like that still being able to produce and create content? I mean, create songs at a high level like that.
Well, first of all, music is universal. You know what I mean? So it,
Mm.
it really shouldn't have an age limit on it. You know what I mean?
But you know
It's
how they
kind
say rap is a young man's game.
and
You
no,
know,
I agree with it too, because you know what I mean, like there's some is like, you know what I mean, the styles are different, and like even I'll get I'm more like to me, I'm not an old soul. I'm more like a young soul. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like man, like I keep up with the kids, believe that, you know what I mean? Like they may
Yeah.
be 10 years younger than me or whatever, but it's I keep up with you, you know what I mean? Like I'm rocking with the same stuff that you're rocking with, you know what I mean? I can keep up with the times. Um, some people are old souls, so they'll keep that old, like that ancient flow, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm really not feeling it, but then you could hear it on some beats, and they're like, damn, you still killed it, you know what I mean? So it's like there's an audience for everything and everybody. It's like
Mm.
telling Bretton Wood, hey, you're like 80 years old, you can't sing oldies no more. Like how do you do that? You know what I mean? His
Right.
music is timeless. You know what I mean? So or why is it only rap? You know, you're gonna tell me some Alan Jackson can't make a new hit in 2022, and he's been singing country music for years. You know what I mean? Like, what about Key Sweat? Key Sweat decides to drop a new song. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you're gonna say he's too old. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, and I believe a lot of it has to do with maturity and the content of your music. But
Mm.
say Jay-Z, look at the content of his music. To me, is more for the adult people. You know, maybe the
Yeah.
younger person that is an old soul can relate to it and resonate with it, but you know what I mean? Like he's gonna drop content for his audience.
And I was just having that conversation. It's funny that you bringing up a lot of stuff that I was just recently doing or having a conversation about. And I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine about Jay-Z, and I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to explain to him and break down why Jay is a beast lyrically.
Right.
You know what I mean? Aside from the business, and he just couldn't. We never even got a drink. I was going to just go through some Jay-Z records and let him. Listen, you can't tell me you don't like this. Let me break
Right.
down this bar. Let me break down these just 32 bars and things like that. So no, it's just good. For me, because I come from the 90s, it's good to see
Right.
that artists can still do it. Then they still have a passion for it, and that they still want to do it, and they still telling their story. So let's find out what's Lazy Dubb's story. What's the story that Lazy is wants to get across to the fans?
Man, just like if I can do it, you could do it too. You know what I mean? Like, don't give up. Hustle and motivate, man. Like Nip was a big influence later on. Like there was a period of time, like specifically with Nip, to where it's like, oh, his early gangbanging stuff, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
rocked with it. And then he started
Mm-hmm.
kind of evolving, and I'm like, it was over my head. I couldn't even understand it. And it's kind of messed up because it took to where after he passed, and then I go back to some of the stuff, working out. What I mean, I'll be bumping Nip when I'm working out a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
then I started listening to it, and it starts being clearer. Like, oh man, I didn't really bump this track before. Now it's like, oh, like this is I get what he's saying, so it's not over my head anymore. So it's
Right.
like, just like the maturing and the being able to understand different things at different times in your life.
You know, I'm also guilty of that. I didn't buy into Nip early. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't. I didn't understand it. Um, I really I didn't think he was a bad artist. I just wasn't what I was on.
Right.
And it wasn't until he dropped the last project before he
Victory
passed.
lap.
Yeah, Victory Lap. And it wasn't until that, actually, I got to it before he passed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was like, okay, maybe I've been sleeping on dude this whole time. I didn't know. You know what I mean? And the album is a classic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just every song. So I went back to the archives and
Mm-hmm.
downloaded everything.
There you go.
And I went like I think I probably went more than a month going through all his whole catalog and like why and just like you were missed out on all that
Right.
because at that
Right.
time I just couldn't relate to it. So I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. So I always ask people what their three keys to success are, and we're going to get to that. But I want Lazy Dub to for those who don't know, when people download your music, what are they going to get?
Well, you're gonna get a lot of my stories. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
like like I have, you know what I mean, like definitely, you know what I mean, like I've been through some things in life, you know what I mean? Like I've gang banged, I've been shot, I've been to prison, I hustled, you know what I mean? So you're gonna get a lot of my stories. Now, I don't intentionally want to glamorize it, you know what I mean? And I don't mean to, but this kind of like what we do sometimes as, telling our stories, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own perspective on it. So reality, if a kid, you know what I mean, like was to talk to me about that type of stuff, I'm gonna say, hey, if it's in you, it's in you. If that's what you are, then I can't change you. I can't tell you not to do what you feel you are or what you're doing. But I don't suggest it. I don't condone it. You know what I mean? Like I don't, you know what I mean? Like if I can't say I would change anything about my life, you know what I mean? Because I try to live with no regrets. And even though I went to prison, I made a win out of it. Even though I got shot, I made a win out of it. You know what I mean? So I've made wins and it helped mold me to be who I am. But you know what I mean? If you can learn and find those wins through it, and I could teach you and I could hustle and I could motivate you to do something positive or find another way other than what you're doing, you know what I mean? Hopefully that's what you get from my music.
All right, now you talk about turning those into wins,
Yeah.
which is almost like taking a negative and turning into a positive. How
Yes,
was
sir.
you able to do that after being shot and possibly in a position where you could have lost your life and then also losing your freedom? How was you able to turn those things around?
It gave me you know what I mean? So I learned from that and it gave me put me in a different direction. You know what I mean? Like okay, I can't do this. Like say my first armed robbery I got caught for at 14, right? So, you know what I mean? I got caught for carjacking, just, you know what I mean? Like just robbing anybody or anything, right? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't do that. So I'm going to change the game. And I still kept negative, you know what I mean, on a negative path, but it taught me to, I can't just rob anybody. So then maybe, you know, my second armed robbery, I'm 16, I got in trouble. Allegedly, they bust me for robbing drug dealers. Like, how you get in trouble for that? But either way, it's like,
Well, you
okay.
wouldn't you wouldn't play. Well, you I ain't, like, damn. Well, you wasn't messing around, was you?
Nah, I wasn't. I was trying to get mine for sure. You know what I mean? But so the thing is, even at that, so I learned, okay, well, even though it's like, come on, how do you get in trouble for this? You can still get in trouble for that too. So it's like what? Then I gotta ask, like, damn, give me something that I can okay, so I got in trouble again for guns. You know what I mean? I went to federal prison for guns. You know what I mean? So all this stuff teach me, well, you're gonna get in trouble for this, you're gonna get in trouble for that. And either I can learn to be a better criminal, or you know what I mean, I can not do that criminal activity no more.
Yeah, you was out here moving around. So what was the moment? First, if you don't mind me asking, how long did you do, and was it what moment in during that time that you decided to say, "I'm gonna know what I'm gonna do this music thing for real. This will get me out of a life of crime. This will stop me from, what I mean, I possibly losing my life in the streets." What was that moment for you?
Honestly, so I did a 37 to 46 month sentence in federal prison. So while I was in prison, like it didn't teach me. I was young, you know what I mean? So it's
Mm,
like it didn't teach me nothing. Like I was like, I'm here. Like you guys are all crying about being here. Like as a matter of fact, while I'm here, I'm looking for a plug. Like what's up? You know what I mean? I'm not worried about getting out and probation. Like I don't do drugs. You know what I mean? So I don't get high. So I don't have to worry about violating probation. Nothing like that. Like I can function. Like man, I
right.
know what I'm gonna do. Like I didn't the time didn't really mess with me. So it was not until I got out and then like little things like just taking a shower in my own shower at home and like how peaceful that was compared to having that taking that prison shower. Like that shit suck. You know what I mean? Like it's just very uncomfortable. So it's like the little comforts that I started to pick up. You know what I mean? Like even just, you know what I mean, going outside and just feeling the great weather, being outside at nighttime after like so long of not even being outside at nighttime, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's a different feeling. So those are the things that I picked up on later on after I got out of prison and I kind of matured a little bit that kind of helped me see things better.
That's what's up. I hear a lot of people say that, prison was the best thing that ever happened to them. And I try to understand that,
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because I've never been in that situation. But I can't imagine that. I can't imagine like what you just said. If you're young, you active, prison may not shake you, form you at all
Mm-hmm.
because you just adjusting to another. You're just young and you adjusting. But as you get older, of course, you're supposed to mature, and so you can kind of realize that wait a minute, this ain't can't keep doing this forever. You know what I mean? So I definitely appreciate that answer because I hear people say it was the best thing that happened to me. I've rarely heard anybody say, "Nah, man, it didn't do shit for me. I was I was still in there trying to bust my moves." So at least these kids can understand that you know going there is not. You may look for it as a way to sit you down and to calm you down, but it still may do nothing in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
So
it sucks. Like, don't get me wrong, but you know, what I mean, even at that, you can adapt. Like, I learned how to kill time so good that like time flies by, man. Like after I got out of prison, like time flies by so fast.
mm,
Like, cause I learned how to kill time. I learned how to have a decent time while I was in there. You know what I mean? Like I learned how to kill time, and it kind of like speeded time up for me like so fast that it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like I rarely have enough time in a day now. Even at that, I rarely have enough time in a week. Like,
yeah,
man,
because hey, now you traveling around, moving
yeah.
around, performing. Yeah, most definitely. So let's get off into the music. So we went from your early stages of life, challenges you went through, pitfalls you had to go through. Now we're into the music. So what song was it? What moment was it for you when you started recording music, started performing? You got a buzz going. What was the moment for you that said, you know what, this is it. I made the right move, and now this thing is clicking on all cylinders.
Honestly, that didn't happen until I made my movie. I made my movie
Oh,
Narco Valley, and then that kind of like
hold
like
on.
everything goes hand in hand.
Hold on real quick.
Um,
All right. Can you hear me?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what happened, but my headphones started tripping.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead. You let's pick up where you left off.
Yeah, pretty much that moment hit me, you know what I mean, when the you know what I mean, my movie, like after my movie dropped, and then like more people started recognizing me and noticing me, and like I started feeling like okay, this is really going somewhere. Because I kind of gave up for a minute. Like I've been doing music, like involved in trying to do music
Mm.
since way back when. Just I never really took it serious till about like 2015. So
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, so then around, because that was kind of like my last, like, you know what, this is my last. If it works, it works, and if it don't, like it's whatever. But I don't know, something kept pulling me to it, like
Mhm.
just hold on, just hold on. You know what I mean? Like, so you never know. If you give up now, it could have been that next month or that next show where you get your big break.
And I went through that. You know what I mean? Dude, I understand. I totally get it because when I was in there, when I was moving around, I didn't have a team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I was out there on my own, putting up posters, calling the radio station, trying to get airplay, trying to find shows. This was all just solo dolo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's stressful. You know what I mean? When you trying to move around, do everything on your own, you financing everything on your own. It becomes stressful, and you start doubting yourself. You know what I mean? So was there a
Mm-hmm.
time when you was doubting your ability to do it, or was it just the trying to make it was the one thing that was stressful?
Part of it is like I'm a hustler, so everything is money motivating. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's so I had to learn, like, okay, is this something that I want to do, or am I doing it just for the money? You know what I mean? If I'm doing it just for
Mm.
the money, this is the wrong business. You know what I mean? This for anybody. If you're doing it for the money, it's the wrong business, because the money ain't gonna come to a long. It's gonna take a lot of work, unless you're fortunate and it does happen. Every situation is different, but the majority of the time, the money don't come right away. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got to make that money happen. So that was part of my like discouragement, is that there was no money. It's like I'm hustling, I'm putting in money, but I got to find a way to make money in this situation. I just kind of like even at that, like in the beginning days of YouTube or whatever, I didn't take advantage and see what the direction it was going. I wanted everybody, oh, I'll give you a snippet on YouTube, go buy my tracks on iTunes. Go listen. And I mean,
Right.
there wasn't even no Apple Music at the time. It was just go buy my song on iTunes and let me get that 64 cents. I never knew how streaming was going to be. So I'd take stuff off of YouTube. Like I never really, like I would have had millions of views had I left a lot of that content on there. And I didn't even care about no view numbers because it wasn't accumulating my bank account. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that wasn't, so I was like, I couldn't see it. So it's a lot of, trial and error. So there was discouragement due to lack of funds.
And even on YouTube, I mean, you still got to get to a certain amount. You know what I
Right.
mean? So you would have still been putting money in for marketing and promotion.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's still and praying that you get to that number. And then you don't know how
Right,
long it takes to get the check after that. So now
right,
I definitely understand. That's why I'm glad I came up in the time where CD selling, where you could put that physical product in somebody else's hand and they exchange for you, they put that money in yours. That's money you can see instantly. You don't
right,
gotta wait 90 days for you know what I mean, royalty check, you know what I mean, or whatever, however the time frame, publishing money and all that. That money is right there in your hand at that very moment. You know what I mean?
right,
That's the era that I love and I miss because it gave people, it actually taught you how to market. You learn all of that
right,
when you out
right.
there moving around and things of that nature. So, you said I want to go back to something that you said. You said you did a movie first. I thought you did
Yeah.
music first. You did the movie first. So how was you able to get the movie done? What was the movies? Did you do the movie in the hopes it would help the music, or why? How did the movie come about?
Okay, so I was already doing the music stuff, but as I've seen everybody, Master P, 50 Cent, everybody, like they all graduated and went towards like film, which I mean, ultimately, like I feel me personally, I could do movies and I could be a little bit more like outside the box. I don't have to be everything don't have to be so realistic as a lot of my music is. I'm not gonna embellish too much or change too much of reality in my music. I just don't feel right. You know what I mean? Because I don't it sucks when I meet like a rapper that may have influenced me or something, and I find out like you ain't really about that life, bro. You know what I mean? That it kind of
Mm,
sucks for me. You know what I mean? Like really, I really check my resume. You know what I mean? Like I really done did the majority of the stuff that I talk about. Then maybe change for to protect the guilty, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like there's it's either stuff that I've done, I will do, I've been involved with, I've seen. You know what I mean? Like this is real shit. You know what I mean? Whereas, you know what I mean, in the movies, well, you know what I mean, I could play a construction worker. You know what I mean?
right,
I could play you know what I mean, whatever. I could be a cowboy if I, you know what I mean, if I needed to be. I could be a masked murderer, you know what I mean? Like I could be anything in the movies as to where I can't really make music with so much imagination. So it's just something that I figure, okay, there's longevity of actually making money and still creating content and doing something cool to where alongside that, my music could play a part because there's always need of a soundtrack. So, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I just wanted to get into film. So I kind of like, I was talking to my partner, Mr. Capone. We were working on some music and everything, working on some videos. I like, hey, let's do a movie. Let's do like a little short movie or something. So we did
mhm,
like a an extended video. Ended up being like 6 minutes, you know what I mean, 7 minutes or something like that. It wasn't to the part that I wanted it. Like it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be because I wanted it to be more like more cinematic, more. It was good. It was decent, especially for the time and for our resources. But so I wanted to go above and beyond that. And then just he was just kind of like, nah, I never did a movie before, this and that. And my idea with it was let me do something like I don't need movie actors when movie actors only relevant every time they make a movie, and they might not make a movie for a couple years, so they're really not staying relevant. You know what I mean? So if every time a artist is relevant, every time they drop a new track, every time they drop a new album, so I figured this would be a better marketing plan to have somebody like Mr. Capone who has never done a film in a film, and then just you know what I mean, like finally you know what I mean, after Straight Outta Compton came out, you know what I mean, like he's like probably hyped him up too. You know what I mean? I know I was hyped up around that time, like, man, let's do this movie. And he's like,
mhm.
let's do it. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, I mean, speaking of TV and film, if you actually had some music that landed
Yeah.
on one of my favorite shows,
Hey.
Law, Law and Order.
Okay. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know what I mean?
So with that and that's crazy, see, because like it's just like to me it's crazy. It's just like the universe how it works.
Mhm,
Because early in my okay, so I had been doing music already like since I was a kid. But after I got out of prison, I kind of was like, I really wasn't messing with the music. Then I came across some people that I had worked with on some stuff or tried to get them involved in the music that I was doing or messing with before I went to prison. So, and then they were doing it. So I was like, hey, I'll support you. So then finally I kind of got back into it. Like, all right, you know what I mean? Like I got back into it. and I came across something to where it was a music library. Like they did music for TV and film,
Mm.
and they wanted some music done. So I'm like, it's really not my style, but you know what I mean? Like that's my first check from music, period, was through them. So it's
Wow.
like, yeah, and they were getting placements and stuff like that. So it's like I thought nothing of it until later on, and I'm seeing this like, whoa, actually, that was a good move. Like I'm glad I followed through with it because I was like, nah, this, you know, what I mean, it's not that much money, but it's money. I had never got paid off of music until I got paid from the music library.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's big. So even but selling music, you never got produced an album or a mixtape and then sold that, got money. The very first piece of money you ever saw
Mm-hmm. Well,
was
not the very first piece, but like the
okay.
first like bigger check, like
Check. Okay.
at one time. Like, you know what I mean? They cashed me out like for 3 tracks, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Now I
Crazy.
had pressed up albums, and you know what I mean, I was at the end of the out of the trunk era, but you know what I mean, still people were like, I even got weird stuff. Like people were like, how do I even know there's music on here? Like, what do you mean? Like, why would I try to sell you something that don't have my music? I want you to listen to my music. Like I would get weird. Like people were starting to get weird at the end of the era about buying CDs because you get a lot of bootlegs and stuff, and just people were, I don't know.
Selling blanks.
Yeah, I guess, you know what I mean. Like I don't know. Like that was the weirdest. That's why it stuck to me, and I remember like this dude tell me like, how do I even know there's anything on there? Like why would I sell you something that was blank? You know what
Right.
I mean? Like it's all packaged and everything. Like what the...
And that now that I want to go, I want to get to that too because I want you to tell, I want you to kind of explain to these new artists that still may not get it that your presentation is everything.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? You can't still be handing people blank CDs. That whole time period is bingo. And I want to get to that, but I want you to answer. I want to ask you this: when you had to transition over to learning the streaming, learning these iTunes platforms, how was the transition for you? And was that almost discouraging as well?
No, because like when I started making music already, like for like trying to be more on a professional level, they were already putting it on these platforms. So it's like I didn't have to do no work. I didn't have to learn about that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was already like I was on Spotify when Spotify first came out. You know what I mean? I was
Oh, that's
on, you know what I mean, like all of that stuff, like my distribution was already like boom, like when this stuff was new. So it kind of left me behind because I'm not seeing this new stuff as it comes out because I'm not using it. I'm not using these platforms. I'm like,
mm,
you know, it's just some online stuff. You know what I mean? I was still on the CDs, MP3s, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I was still on that, the iPods, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't so much on the you know what I mean, like the streaming stuff, but
mm.
already automatically, like I didn't have to transition to that. I was like, even to this day, man, I still got pressed up CDs. You know what I mean? I
Oh
still got
yeah.
manufactured CDs,
Oh,
20 bucks a pop. This is nostalgia now. You know what I mean? Like people get it just out of, hey, let me get that autographed and let me have it like a keepsake type of thing.
mhm.
So, you know what I mean? Like CDs still sell. You know what I mean?
You definitely still need them because people who came from that time period want that old material because they can't
Right,
find it anywhere.
right.
I recorded a documentary, and the first group to ever come out of my city, I put that first song on my documentary, but I never would have had it if it wasn't on YouTube.
There
You know
you
what I mean?
go.
Yeah, I didn't even have a CD, so I had to find it on YouTube to be able to use. You know what I mean? To be able to use it. So yeah, I definitely understand that because somebody asked me for an old CD, and it kind of felt crazy. I was like, is this playing with me?" You know? Yeah. But when they got to really when we were having a conversation on Instagram, I was like, "Okay, no, he really, you know what I mean? He really wants the old music," and it made me go back and listen to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So. When you got that first check and you just explain how all that kind of transition kind of all went together. You got your first check, and then the distribution company had already started putting them, transitioning you over to streaming without you having to do it. So, is that around the same time you really started trying to record on a professional level when you got that very first check for those 3 records for the TV shows?
Not really. Like it was still kind of like a hobby thing, you know what I mean, at that time, you know. I was just trying to find my way and trying to find out okay how, because honestly, in the beginning, I wasn't really trying to be an artist. You know what I mean? I was just
Mm,
trying to do the business behind it. Like I said, I'm a hustler. I'm looking for money. The money is what motivates me. So I wasn't really looking to be for any fame or to be a rapper or anything like that. You know, I would just let me be the easy E of this situation. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Let me. I'll invest some money. I'll make it happen. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean. I asked for the universe to give me something I could sell like dope that ain't dope. You know what I mean? Like give me that, and then I'll, you know,
You work it out.
yeah, you know what I mean. That way I'm not in the game. You know what I mean? Like give me something because I know how to do that. I don't know how to do drywall. I don't know how
Mhm.
to, I don't have no skills and talent. This is my skill and talent. I know how to hustle. You know what I mean? I know how to flip something. You know what I mean? Let me give me something that I could use my talents for. You know what I mean? And then I started coming across with stuff like that, like t-shirts. You know what I mean? Like t-shirts. I start, you know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like I didn't really want to do the music, but it goes hand in hand with the music. So
Right.
it's like I'm trying to put these other artists on and I'm trying to help them out. So it's like, okay, boom, I could do the t-shirts, I could do the business, I could talk business, I can invest. Like let's make this happen. So that, you know what I mean? So even though I would have little things here and there, like the music library stuff, I still would you know what I mean, like of course it was fun. I like music. So it's like I'll jump
Right.
on a track here and there. But I don't want to be on every track, you know.
So basically, the money is. So let's say. Well, actually, I go another direction. You got the search, you got the hat, you got the merch,
Mm-hmm.
walking billboards. Just like myself. We walk around trying to show this brand off every single day. I mean, is that another part that you pushed that you added an income stream to the music was the clothing line, Lazy Dubb
Oh,
clothing line.
well, yeah, that was later on. So it's like,
Mm,
so I had to have a couple fallouts with like artists that I was dealing with to where I felt that I had to prove a point. Now I got to show you that you can't do it without me because reality is it's more business than it is talent. You can have all
that's
the
true.
talent, but if you ain't putting the business behind it, you're hit. And then on top of that, I got the business and the hustle, and I actually got some talent. So let me show you how it's done. So then that's what motivated me even more to like prove a point that I'm in this to make money and I could do it myself. I don't need you. So
Mm,
let me do it. So then I branched off and I had a couple homies that still stuck with me and we were doing it together. But even them, they would be lacking. And other things, would take priority or they'd be smoking too much weed or I mean something like that. And they would just not be as on it as I was. And I'm like, this is my money involved, bro. Like this is my investment. I could be spending this investment on something else. I'm investing in you because I'd rather see you. Hey, you want to be a rapper. You want to do this. Well, do it because I'm providing opportunity for you, but they didn't go as hard as I would. So it's like, well, I might as well do it myself. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just do it myself. And then
it's
bam.
paying off.
Right, right. Once I started doing for myself, it started working better. Like, oh, this
would
is
you
how
work?
this goes.
Would you work with artists again?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Like I got one of my boys. He came back around, and it kind of motivated him. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? Let's go.
So, are you looking for more artists, and what kind of artists are you looking for that you want to work with?
Um, it's just talent. Like, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Like, I came across a homie that happened to just be in my movie. Like I didn't really know he rap at that time. I didn't know he rapped. Oh, this dude's like to me. I think he's one of he's I would say he's the coldest in Arizona. As a matter of
Mm,
fact, but he didn't I didn't know he rapped when he was in my movie. He got a quick little part in my movie. They called him up like we needed another guy for a scene and he pulled up, he came through and I'm like, hell yeah, that's dope. I appreciate that. And then later on I found out this guy rapped and I'm like, oh man, like this dude's the coldest in Arizona, in my opinion. His name's Chris Coke. I got a couple tracks. We were just in the studio. You know what I mean? Like something like that. Something that will like really, you know what I mean? Like if I see the talent and I see that it's something that I would push and I believe in,
mm.
that's what I would look for.
All right. So now, um, what's going on with Lazy Dub now? Because I know you got some new music coming out. Are we still in the movie business? Because honestly, just you kind of got the Jay-Z hustle feeling in you. You
Hey,
know
I'm
what I mean? You
trying,
want,
man. I'm trying.
so you got the merch. You can do film, and really, film could take you a lot further, especially on the money side. So, do you kind of are you struggling with balance of, how the music, or is it going to be film? Is it going to be this? Or is it going to be that? Or do you got your mind set on, okay, we're going to filter everything through music. We're going to filter everything through the artistry and let everything branch in off that.
Well, this is what it is, and it does get difficult and it gets tricky. So it's like I may have a show lined up, right?
Mhm.
I may already have my flights ready and everything, but then I get, okay, hey, we want to book you on, some acting stuff. So it's like, oh man, I mean, like honestly, I would rather, like I said, I'd rather go more towards the acting, and some of it is like the maturity of stuff, because like reality is, I don't want to glamorize gangbanging and stuff like that. But if it comes to me, it comes to me. Like I can't help what comes to me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I just dropped a new single called "Stay Winning." To me, it's like there's no cuss words in it. It's got a good message. You know what I mean? It's something like, to me, that like, man, it's a radio hit. You know what I mean? So it's like I'd like to go more towards that. And my last hardcore
We need it.
gangster, yeah, right, is my last hardcore gangster album that I dropped, and I dropped all my videos for it last year. Is like, to me, like that was to me, that was supposed to be like, that's it, like that's that part of my life, and I want to kind of close that door. Now I can't, you can't take it out of me. What's in me is in me,
Right.
but this is not something I'm trying to manifest into my life and trying to go towards. Still, I'm not trying to stay stuck in that path, you know what I mean? Like, by all means, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong in my eyes, but I'm trying to evolve. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm trying to go towards a more positive. I'm blessed. Like, I'm blessed that I'm not living in a box right now, doing time, doing life in prison. You know what I mean? So I want to gravitate more towards the movies, to where I could be more outside the box.
Now let's talk about that. Let's stay on that for a second because these kids out here running reckless. They ain't listening. I mean, the streets are totally different than it was back in the day. What message would you have for them? Because they might, some of them feel like, oh man, I mean, you lame, you quit the streets, and da da da. I'm staying in the streets forever. I'm gonna die in these streets, and they don't really understand what they really saying. So, what message would you have for these youngsters today?
That's difficult, because 16-year-old me would not listen to myself today. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's kind of like what I said. When Nip evolved, it went over my head. He dropped the Bullets Got No Name album and mixtapes and all of that. Oh, and he's talking about gangbanging shit. Oh, I loved it. But when he started evolving, it was over my head. I couldn't understand it until I could come to mature enough to understand it. So it's like, these kids that they're living that, hopefully you can plant seeds, and they'll go towards a better lifestyle. But it takes a lot of different people to make the world go round. And sometimes
Mm,
we need chaos, you know what I mean? And I don't blame them for being who they are, but do you really want to live that way? Do you really want to live that way in the end? If you're not seeing, and like I said, I'm blessed that and I have homies, like, they're never getting out. They got natural life sentences and stuff. Like, I know homies that have talent, and just to, you know what I mean, to impress somebody else, they caught a body, and they're never they're never gonna come home. You know what I mean? They're never gonna come home. They're never gonna get that shower in their home. They're never gonna feel that grass underneath their feet. You know what I mean? Like, they're never gonna breathe that air from the pine trees. You know what I mean? They're never gonna do that. Is that what you want to do for the rest of your life? Sit in that box in prison, when people are gonna forget about you. You're gonna be a topic of conversation every now and then. Like, I bring my homie up right now. He's a topic of conversation. Like, dang, he was crazy. He was down. But then after this conversation is over, I ain't, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna write him a letter. I ain't gonna see him. I ain't gonna talk to him. You know what I mean? And the same is gonna go for his family. Do you really want that? Like, is that what you really want for your life?
man, that's cold, man. And you
Yeah.
saying your family forgets about you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like,
Mama,
because
daddy, I mean, uncles, everybody just normally, because I guess out of sight, out of mind. Is that what it is? Or is it just life
a lot
is
of
just
times,
life?
or life is life, and life catches up, and life goes fast. You know what I mean? So it's like, some people have good intention, and they want to reach out to you, and they want, you know what I mean, and they wish you the well, but they know exactly where you're at. And so it's like, they take it for granted, and then one week turns into 2 weeks, and 2 weeks turns into a month, and then a year. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes. You know what I mean? And some people, like myself, even, I was
Mhm.
more like, when I was in prison, like, hey, don't worry about me, don't come visit me. I'll be out when I'm out. You know what I mean? When I get out, then I'll talk to them. I really only kept in contact with my mom. You know what I mean? So I'll call my mom every now and then, and that's it. Even her, like, because I could have got sent to, like, some way on the East Coast, or when you're in federal prison, you could go to different states and stuff.
Right.
So I was like, hey, before they ship me out to whatever prison I'm going to, hey, come visit me one time. You know what I mean? Like, come visit me. You know what I mean? Like, but you don't have to feel the hassle of always having to be there every visit day.
So how did also kind of explain to the kids, man, and even some adults, because some adults still don't get it. How that how that time in prison has a huge, effect on the family, especially if you got kids or an old lady.
Oh man, it puts a major effect on them. You know what I mean? You never know how somebody else is gonna feel and how it's gonna affect somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, your kids may need their father. You know what I mean? Like, it may lead them into a direction of, you know what I mean, doing a whole lot of things that they might not do if, you know what I mean, the father was around. You know what I mean?
Right.
Every situation is different, you know what I mean? But it puts a burden. If the baby's mother has to provide for the kids now and only on her, like, how, she might not be happy. It may take her happiness away. And then, you know what I mean? Like, maybe she don't discipline the kids like they could be disciplined. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Your mother's always gonna hurt if you're not, you know what I mean, where you're supposed to be. It's just it's a burden on the family.
I want to switch gears real quick, and I was just thinking about this as you were talking, because this has been, and you don't got to answer this if you don't want to. This has been a topic of discussion on social media, YouTube. I've seen it on some podcasts before, and I've never been in the streets,
Mm-hmm.
so I have a total different view on this.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there, so you have a total different view on it. In your eyes, what is the true definition of someone that is snitching?
Oh, that's a snitch to me. I got man. I got an opinion on that. Snitching is snitching. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, so exactly that. There is a difference between civilians and people that are in the game.
Correct.
Okay, so let's take. I mean, the number one snitch in the game right now. Let's take him for example, 6ix9ine.
Okay.
A lot of people will side with him. Well, oh, they were gonna hurt him. They were hurting his family. They did this. They did that. Okay, but he made the choice. He knew he should have knew what he signed up for. Straight up. He should have knew what he signed up for. Now on the flip side, his people that were rocking with him, they should have knew what they were allowing inside their business.
Yeah.
So everybody's to blame. But the thing is, a snitch is a snitch. I don't care. My opinion, if he had a problem with them people and whether he was going to do time or not, my opinion as a gangster and being in the game, you kill him then. If you have a problem with them, you kill them. If they were going to hurt your family, you kill them. Now, if you can't get to them to kill them, I don't know what to tell you. You better find a way. But that's the only thing that's going to resolve that problem and not make you a snitch. Other than that, no matter what, you're a rat. You snitched. You told to get yourself out of trouble. You told on somebody else. That is a snitch.
Yeah.
You're trying to get yourself out of trouble. Now, the white lady down the road who don't cause no harm to nobody, and she tells the cops something, I'm not going to be mad at her for that. She's a civilian. She's not in the game. She's doing what she knows how to do. How is she supposed to protect herself or anything, her property or anything else, if somebody's stealing from her or doing her wrong? She's going to do what she has to do. And by all means, even at that, if your car gets stolen and you have to make that police report be for insurance purposes or something like that, I'm not going to consider that snitching. Like, you got to do what you got to do, because somebody could go steal your car, do a drive-by in your car, do a robbery in your car. They're going to come back and harass you. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of stupid. But if you're committing crimes or associated with crimes and you're trying to get yourself out of trouble, whether it's a person that you like or you don't like, and you tell on them to get yourself out of trouble, or you tell on them, period, that's a snitch. Like, you don't tell nobody else's business.
Now that's how I look at it. So I look at it like this: if I wake up every day, if I'm selling dope, that's my job. I sell dope every day. If I know eventually two things can happen. Eventually, I'm gonna end up I can potentially get robbed, or the feds are coming. You know what I mean? We making too much money on this block. This is $1 million strip. They coming eventually. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of time. They know everybody who's doing dirt. They know everybody that's doing dirt. They just wait when they want to come pick you up. That's pretty much it. So when they come pick me up and they slap the cuffs on me, I'm not about to go down there and tell on everybody that's down there that was outside with me that didn't get hit.
Right.
just so I can reduce, so I can go from 25 to life to 15 to 20.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what I consider snitching. What I don't consider snitching is, let's say you in the car with me, you got some stuff on you. I don't know that you do, but I know you out there. But I don't know. We cool. I'm a civilian in the streets, you in the streets, but we just riding together and we get pulled over. You throw the stuff down there, then underneath my seat, they find it. They looking at me. I feel like if the person who's through the dope, if they or through whatever, if they don't own up to that and they let their partner go do 20 and 30 years of life, knowing they got a family, knowing they got, I don't consider that snitching if that guy says that's his.
That's
Because
that's a tricky situation. That's a tricky situation because so okay, you kind of got to let it play it out. Like if they just like, you know what I mean, like you know what type of person you're riding with. You shouldn't ride with that person. So it's like you're kind of to blame too. I get your perspective, but
he should own up. Not to cut you off. He should own. To me,
I'm not gonna let you go
down.
That's a snake motherfucker. If he don't own up to that shit, like that's.
Why would you let me go down? Why would you let me go through life knowing, you know what I mean? Own up, stand on that, and then when you come back, if you know get out, we got you. But to me, if he goes down there and say, man, that's his, bro, I don't see where he's wrong in that regard.
Because he should know who he's riding with off the rip. You know what I mean? That's where he's in the wrong on it. But I can't say if he's a civilian person and he does that I would hate him. It's still telling and it's still not right. But then in a sense, that person, that person who would do that, oh man, like that's a foul ass person. You know what I mean? Like that's not right at all either. You know what I mean? Like I've had a similar situation. I've had a similar situation where you know what I mean that I was involved in, and really all I asked, hey, just don't say nothing, just don't say nothing. But also too, you know what I mean, like man, I can't really speak on the situation.
Right. I don't.
But
Yeah.
so
We're just talking scenarios.
Yeah, every situation is different. So every little technicality, and there's two sides to every story. So. Dang, that's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. That's more tricky than like the 6ix9ine situation. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Really? Okay. Because I'm thinking like you even mentioned the old lady, like the old ladies in the neighborhood, right?
Right.
She witnessed somebody get shot or get killed or whatever, and she said something. I know, like there's people out there who will look at her as a snitch. You know what I mean?
And yeah, right. And well, this is what I'm saying. Like, I wouldn't be mad if I'm riding with my boy and my boy ain't involved in nothing, and he has nothing to do with what I got, and I throw something down, and they're trying to blame him for it. I would have to try to take the blame. Now, you know what I mean? And if I didn't take the blame and my boy said something, I wouldn't hate him. I wouldn't be like, oh, you a rat, fool, like this and that. I wouldn't really be upset, you know what I mean? Because it's like, what did I expect him to do? You know what I mean? Like he's a civilian. I shouldn't have been even involving him anything close to this. Now, maybe we had a conversation beforehand, like, hey, bro, if we get pulled over, I got this on me. Just don't say nothing, and I'm gonna make sure everything's taken care
of.
Different.
That's different.
Yeah, that's different. That's what I'm saying. Every scenario is different. So you know what I mean. It's everything is a case by case situation. You know what I mean? So it would just depend on the, you know what I mean, the situation.
And I like that because the code of silence is blurred now. Like the law and the law of the streets and everything is, and what's telling, what's snitching. You know, everybody's got their own view, but I just look at it like that. Like, you know, it's been a hot topic. There's no way I'm going to let you go down for something I did.
Right, but that makes you solid though. You know what I mean? A lot of people they ain't solid, and they'll allow. So pretty much, if somebody's gonna allow somebody else to actually go down, like say if somebody went down for me, okay, we're not gonna say nothing. Everybody's gonna keep quiet. You go down for me, oh, I guess I'm paying for a lawyer, I'm paying for bond. You know what I mean? Like I'm paying for all of this stuff. Don't say nothing, bro. Keep your mouth shut. But you know, believe me, I got you. And if I leave you hanging and then you told on me, well, you know what I mean? Like, I guess that's what I deserve, right? You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't leave you hanging because me being a solid individual, man, it may cost me a bigger check or a bigger bag to go ahead and pay for that lawyer
Yeah.
and pay for bond and
Right.
everything instead of just like, you know what, that was mine right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I just wanted to ask you that because like I said, I just know it's been like a crazy conversation, and the stuff that I read and people I hear people say, like, I just can't believe y'all. No, that's not how this goes. But
Now it's a good topic. It's a good topic.
yeah, because it's a lot of there's a lot of people out there who've probably risked their life for doing life, and they shouldn't even be in there.
Oh, a
But
lot.
because of the code, they feel like they have no choice. But then the code backfires on them, and nobody's putting money on their books. Nobody's taking care of their family. Nobody's doing that. So it's like you did all this time for nothing.
And that happens a lot. I have a lot of homies or ex homies or whatever that they end up doing a lot of things and putting in work for all this time and holding to certain codes, and then all of a sudden they flip up later, and it's like, how do you do that? Like, why? You know what I mean? You know what you signed up for. This
Yeah.
is why I don't sign up for certain things, because it's like, I'm not gonna put nothing before my kids, man. And if you're gonna ask me to do something, to put something before my kids, you're crazy. And then a lot of it's the loyalty of certain organizations
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, or your squad and your people. Are they really gonna look out for you if you get locked up? Are they gonna be the ones like me? I'm gonna pay for your lawyer. I promise you. I'm gonna, if you get in trouble for me, I, it's just my obligation now. I got to
Right.
make sure your kids are straight. I got to make sure you got money on your books. I got to make sure you're taken care of. This is why it's like, I'm not going to allow somebody to get in trouble for me, because I know it's going to weigh heavy on me, and it's going to cost me a big bag, but I'm just built like that to where it don't matter. I'm going to
And
take
that
care of you.
and that's nothing these kids don't understand today. They don't understand when that cell door slams, all you got is you.
Yep.
There's nobody out. There's nobody. Everybody's going back to their normal life.
Yep.
You better be lucky somebody not trying to hit somebody in your crew, ain't trying to sleep with your girl.
Oh, you already know that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna try, whether it happens or not, I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like they're gonna definitely try, and it's a lot of times they're successful.
Yeah. And so it's just, trying to keep the message going to these kids, man, that it's not what you think it is.
Nah, it's not worth it. Like in the end, to me, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Like do for yourself, do something you enjoy. You know what I mean? If that's what you're built for, and that's how you see your life for the rest of your life, that's what you're signing up for the rest of your life. So hey, go for what you know, if that's you. But if there's you have any doubt that you may, like, I know stone cold killers that end up in protective custody. Like, dang, like this is a murderer.
Man.
And he's in protective custody now because he hung it up. Like, so if you're gonna tell me this stone cold killer will hang it up, somebody who's really not built like that or that ain't like that, oh, you got a better chance of hanging it up than they did, and they hung it up. So
Mm.
you know what I mean? In the end, a lot of people, you know what I mean, you sign up for something that you really not built for.
Yeah. So now, what's Lazy Dubb got going on now? I know, as I read, you worked with worked with Kevin Gates, one of the best, Kodak Black and Roddy Rich. What is next for Lazy Dubb?
Oh no, that was actually my boy that did my videos. He shot
Oh,
some Kevin Gates videos. He shot Kodak Black video. My boy Capone, he got a video with Kevin Gates. Like man, that shit's hidden. You know what I mean? Something for the ladies. But no, I got tracks. I do have a track with Brother Lynch. You know what I mean? Dub C, Mr. Capone, Baby Bash, Carolyn Rodriguez, Young Roscoe. Like, man, that goes on and on and on. Man, but working on new music, trying to get some new movies out. I was just involved in assistant directing, and I actually have a role in a movie called 85 to Aho from Little Books, Little Films. You know what I mean? Philip
okay.
Penza. You know what I mean? Man, we even shot some scenes in Mexico with that one. You know what I mean? That was just
That's big.
yeah, late January, early February. Um, Man, I'm trying to get a couple other film projects done. I got tour coming up. Like I'll be in Everett, Seattle, Washington area this coming weekend. The next weekend we're gonna be Tri-Cities, Caldwell, Idaho. Then I got the Arizona Super Show coming up, you know what I mean? Car show, you know what I mean? Like, that's March 26th. Then
Yeah.
the following weekend, like I said, Grammys, man, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be out there for
Oh yeah.
Grammy weekend in Vegas. You know what I mean? But even at that, I'm kind of like, there might be some shows I might be scheduled for. I don't know. I got to figure this one
Go
out.
get the money, man. Like you said, go
Right.
get the money.
Whichever one has the biggest bag, and whichever one I'm obligated for most. You know what I mean? Like
That's
it get once you start getting, you know what I mean, stuff out there, it starts scheduling gets crazy. Like, man, how do I schedule this? You know,
it's crazy. You went from like trying to figure out how you was gonna make the money in the business to, dang, I don't know. I got so much money on the table. I don't know what I want to take and what I want to turn down.
right. And all money is not good money. So sometimes you take the smaller bag. It might be the better move in the long run, you know what I mean? Because you might end up running into some investors or some, some millionaire dudes. Like, you got to be more open-minded too. You can't see, that was one of my problems too, with staying inside the box of that gangster shit. Like some millionaire white dude, I would never give him the time of day. Like, why are you gonna listen to my music, bro? Like, you ain't got nothing in common with me. But you never know. That might be the biggest, like, damn, I really like this shit. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's like Easy E running into Jerry Heller. Like, he really thought Jerry Heller would, you know what I mean, like or associate himself with that music. You know what I mean? Like, so you never know. You never know who's who. Even the biggest fans are people that you wouldn't expect.
That is a fact.
Yep.
You thought your neighborhood would probably be the first, but
Mm-mm.
you'd be amazing the people that love your music and watch what you do. So you said new music, new movies, new projects. Is there a scheduled day for a project, mixtape, movie?
Nothing definite at this point in time. You know what I mean? Like I got shows coming up. So it's like I said, I just dropped a new single, the Stay Winning. Actually, that's something I picked up on early in the game too. Is like, let me invest more in the single than having to wait to put out a full album.
Mm,
So I just
you,
like I started and it became a trend. I'm like, man, I started that. Like, nobody was doing singles like I was doing it back in the days.
you
And
know they're
then
gonna say OT. You know when they people hear they're gonna say OT Genesis.
Nah, I'm before OT Genesis. Before that, man, I'm probably nah. OT didn't do it before me. I promise you. I
Well,
promise
yeah,
you.
I'm just saying, when the people hear the name,
Right, 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 right,
they
right,
hear, they're
right,
gonna be
right.
like, nah, wait a minute, OT. Because as a matter of fact, D just made a statement about that not too long ago when he was mentioned, I ain't dropped the album yet. Ain't going to. You know, I'm still
Yeah,
buying
see,
off these singles.
I've dropped albums, but they've all been collections of singles. So
Mm.
you know, what I mean, pretty much all it is all the singles that I dropped. But no, I started doing that, man, like 2006. You know what I mean? So it's like I said before Spotify even like was Spotify. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was doing this
So
like
you was
way back
doing it
when.
one song at a time. You would
Yeah.
get a record, you would feel like, okay, this the record I'm gonna push. And how many months would you? Because I know, like in the business, when people drop an album, they do like 8 months total, try to really collect everything they can from radio play to music videos, tours, shows, things about 8 months. Then they start working on the next project, possibly. So, what was your time frame like when you had a song? How long would you run with it before you start pushing the next record?
Never know nothing specific.
Yeah.
There was never no game plan. It was just like, this comes as it goes. Like one of my best business moves I believe that I ever did, what really started things like way back when, is I burned a whole bunch of CDs, like mixtape stuff on other beats, like industry beats. And
Mm-hmm.
I went and I burned all them CDs and slapped a little label on it and passed them out at the high schools. After that, like, things started getting like cracking, like people started knowing the music. So it's like, that was like one of my best moves ever. But
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like, I tried to repeat that, but after the CD era kind of died out, like it just like the CD era was dying out, so it didn't really work.
Right. This guy's time to transition to the
Yeah.
digital world where you put the cue to kill the code on the flyer and they can scan that and put it in the phone and download the music directly that way. So, all right. So we got the movies, we got the music. What else? We got any? Is there any new merch on the way?
Oh man, always new drops coming. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like trying to get the website organized to where it's like, you know what I mean, they get the new, like, to me, I do a lot of exclusive stuff, and I would do like, I'm gonna keep this for myself. You know what I mean? That way
Mhm.
there's not too many people rocking this or whatever. But I started to like, okay, I'm gonna allow the, you know what I mean, the fans to, you know what I mean, be able to purchase this stuff now, or maybe I'll keep a certain colorway for myself or something, or a certain kind of, you know what I mean, something for myself, and then I'll allow this for the fans now, because I just kind of like to be unique with my own stuff. So they see me rocking my own stuff and like, damn, that's dope, but you can't get that nowhere. I mean, it's mine.
That's what's up. No, like I said earlier, I was going to ask you about the 3 keys to success, man. And with everything that you've been through, you got a lot of game you can give people. You know what I mean? So I want to ask you, what would you tell the people are the 3 keys to success?
Consistency. You know what I mean? That's number one. Stay consistent. Never give up. You know what I mean? Like never give up, which is almost like consistency, but you know what I mean? You gotta go for it. You know what I mean? You gotta keep on it. And then really do what you love to do. You know what I mean? If you're doing something that you love to do, you know what I mean, you're winning. You know what I mean? You're winning. Look for the wins every time. Like even if you think something is negative, there's a positive to every negative and there's negative to every positive.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Look for the wins.
That's what's up. Now, any last thing you want to tell the people?
Oh man, I think we covered a whole lot,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah.
I was loving it, man. Like everything,
Yeah.
because I can relate to a lot because with the exception of the streets stuff, I could relate to because I did the artist thing. You know what I mean? We did it. And kind of, we similar. I've heard a lot of similarities in our conversation. Then plus I wanted to touch on, the message to the kids and then a lot of things. So yeah, we did cover a lot of things, man. I just want to know if there's anything else that you want to let the people know.
Yeah, just much love and respect to everybody who's rocking with me. You know what I mean? Like big shout outs to everybody rocking with me. You know what I mean? I don't like to do shout outs or nothing like that because I always forget people, you know what I mean? But my manager, Coulter, the soldier, you know what I mean? Mr. Capone, High Power, you know what I mean? Mr. GMG, my family, my friends, you know what I mean? Just everybody rocking with me that man, you know what I mean? Like big shout out to Arizona, Phoenix, man. We trying to get on, you know what I mean? Like we gonna do it, man. We gonna do it. We're gonna get on the scene, you know what I mean? The best way we know how.
Actually, that's one last question I do have. You mentioned Arizona artists earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What were some of the artists from Arizona that the people should be looking out for and checking out different styles of music?
I don't know so much about different styles, but the ones that you know what I mean stand out to me is man, my boy Westside Rando, Charisma, the Phoenix Kid, Young Ray, Chris Weddle, my boy Chris Coke, like I said, like man, he's killing it. You know what I mean? Face
Okay.
Capone, like there's so many, you know what I mean, that are out there really, really doing it. You know what I mean? Like or I got talent, you know what I mean? Like DJ Fanatic, you know what I mean? Like he run a studio up there in a little bit North Phoenix, you know what I mean? What is they got Blueprint Records, you know what I mean? Like there's so many that are just like, man, there's a lot, you know what I mean? There's a lot of talent. It just needs to be like exposed to the world.
All right, man. That's Lazy Dubb on the Ties Longino show, man. I want to thank you for. I know we ran a little long, but the conversation was just good, man. So I
Yeah,
just kept it
definitely.
going. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah,
uh,
one more big shout out to UBO Entertainment. You already know.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Hey, safe journeys on your tour, on your shows, man, and we'll be looking out for you, man. Lazy Dubb right here on the
That's
Ties
right. That's
Longino
right.
show,
I appreciate you, bro.
man. Yes, sir, man. Take care.
All right.
All right.